Whew, it was a lot to digest in this movie. Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Queen of Slim, which is directed by Melina Massukas, who you may know from directing episodes of Insecure, Master of None, and she also helped direct Lemonade and also Formation. And so this film, the story is by Lena Waithe, and she also serves as a writer in addition to James Frey, which I was a little taken aback by. I'm not going to lie. If you guys don't know about him, definitely Google him, but he's the author of a book that he actually had to admit that he fabricated, even had to have Oprah go apologize to Peoples for even choosing his book to be a part of her book club. But yeah, I was a little shocked that he is also listed as a writer on this film. But this film stars Daniel Kaluuya, Jodie Turner-Smith, and as they portray the characters Queen and Slim. This movie centers around these two characters who are on a Tinder date from hell because they're not having a great time. And before the night can end, the two are basically put in a predicament as a police officer pulls them over. And after a tragic accident occurs during the altercation, Queen and Slim have to go on the run for their lives. And so essentially the film really centers around their journey as they not only get to learn more about themselves and what they're capable of, but also too as they get to learn more about each other. And so for those of you who are new to my channel, I tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay your way to see this film in theaters. So going into the pros around what I loved about Queen and Slim, first I have to give a shout out to Melina, who does a fantastic job of directing this film, and also to Ted Radcliffe, who's the cinematographer. He also did the cinematography for White Boy Rick. But while you're watching Queen and Slim, I was just like, you could pause every frame in this movie and it would be a beautiful book of photography. Just the way that they make the cities look, because it's really a journey on a road trip as Queen and Slim are trying to find a way to hide out from the police. And so I just thought that from the lighting of the characters, just how they were able to shoot like this beautiful black melanin throughout the course of the film. It's just a beautiful film to look at. You can tell that a lot of care and love was put into how this film was shot, how the characters look on screen, how the cities look, the restaurants that they're in, the houses that they're in. Everything is just so beautifully well shot and also too well lit as well. And so also too, I gotta talk about the music. Yeah, it was some bops up in this film. And even there was this one moment I was like, that is exactly what I would play if I was in that predicament. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about, the little gospel song that came on in the film. I was like, that's me right there. I was getting my whole little church life on in this movie. But they did a great job with the music. But I have to talk about our leads. Daniel Kaluuya, he finds a way to play these characters that sometimes you might feel as though it's the same character, but he makes each character in each of the films that he's chosen these past couple of years, he makes them his own. And the chemistry between Daniel and Jodie is just off the charts. And I have to say, there's a sex scene in this film, and I was just like, Lord, I just feel so dirty after watching it, but it was just so beautiful. At the same time, I was just like, that's a damn good shot sex scene right there. I was just like, I gotta give y'all props for that real quick. But the chemistry between the two was so great in this film. I was a little taken aback by Jodie's Slim, just because I do have, and this will go more into the cons when I talk about it, but kind of how Slim is first presented on screen, especially in their date, I was just like, this is a little cringe-worthy, but I will have to say that Jodie is just a beautiful presence on screen, from the cadence of her voice, how she speaks, her mannerisms. She is a rising star. I was just watching the movie like, this girl is a star. She is just so beautiful, just how she portrays this character. I was just like, yes, Jodie, give me more. I want to see you in every single movie in 2020. I need you to be in it, because I thought she did a really, really great job. But I have to talk about Uncle Earl, who was played by Bokeem Woodlane. He was so great, especially as we get to flesh out a little bit about Slim and why she is the way that she is, why she acts the way that she acts. And we see this kind of unhealthy family dynamic that she has throughout the course of the film. But I would have to say Bokeem, he was so good. I was just like, I just loved you in every single movie. Like, he been doing this for a long, long time. And I was just like, he gave me all of my life. But those are pretty much it for the pros of this movie. We got to talk about the cons. So as I was talking about Jodie's character, Slim, I had an issue kind of in the beginning of the film. She's a very combative type of character. She plays his lawyer, and she's very combative on the date with Slim. And as much as I could relate to her, I just feel like some people might be a little put off at the portrayal of her, kind of like I'm just gonna say angry black woman. In the beginning, I was just like, girl, why you gotta be this way? They gonna be really thinking that we act like this. It just took me off guard. But I think as we get to learn more about who Queen is and why she acts the way that she does, I think I understand her character a little bit more, and her character doesn't come off as cringy as she did in the beginning of the film. But because I got to learn so much about Queen and her background and how she became who she was, it really pointed out that I really didn't get to learn that much about Slim and his experiences, his upbringings, to really help me figure out why he is the way that he is. And I think that made me want to learn more about him. And I felt as though that his character didn't get fleshed out as much as Queen's character did. Then also too, throughout the course of the film, they're basically on the run from the police. And I felt as though some of the choices that they made just weren't realistic. I was just like, so we really about to take time to go do that? Like, is this a good idea? Is that a good idea? I understand what y'all are trying to do, but it just didn't come off as anything believable that I think two people in their situation would have actually done. And I think also too, there's scenes in this film that left me kind of just like, why did we just do that? And I think that one of the main issues walking out of Queen of Slim after I watched it the first time was I didn't necessarily understand what the purpose of the film was trying to portray to its audience. When you watch the trailers, it makes it seem as though that this is a film about police brutality, that is a message that we're trying to send. But as you watch the film, the beginning of the film starts out that way, but it really becomes more of a character study between who Queen and Slim are and how this situation, how this has had them to choose to how to reflect, not only reflect on their lives, but how to live their lives to the fullest with whatever time they have left. If they get caught, if they don't get caught, just how they're going to live life and be remembered in this world. And so when I first left, I was just like, I felt as though there were scenes that were put in this film to try to bring it back to the police brutality part. And I think some scenes were done well, but there was one scene in particular, I was just like, that was so not needed. And because the movie wasn't even steering in that direction, it almost made you feel as though that the scene was put there more as shock value than actually trying to portray a message to its audiences. But after I kind of let this film marinate for a couple of days, I realized that this film was more so about just life. These two black characters who started out on this date. They had to deal with the incident that many black people face in this world with police brutality, but they still have to live. They still have to love. They still have to experience life. And then when I began to accept the movie more as a character study than a message on police brutality and how that affects those within the black community, I began to appreciate the film a lot more. I still have issues with one of the scenes. There's a protest scene that happens in the film, and I was just like, that just left a real bad taste in my mouth. I didn't understand what was the purpose of that scene. Maybe some will agree, maybe some will disagree, but I think overall for me, I would have to say that I still enjoy Queen of Slim. While I do have issues with the film, I think because of the performances from Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith, and also too with the direction of Melina, I think it's a beautifully shot film with a beautiful message that sometimes loses its way at times, but finds a way to come back before the film is over. I would still tell you guys to pay to go see this film in theaters. I still enjoyed the film. Even with the issues of the film, the pros still outweigh the cons for me. And I think people will be okay with spending their coins on it. I will have to say there are some triggering moments in this film. It's a very emotional film. There are things that happen that will have you angry, about to tear up. I ain't gonna lie, I shed a couple of tears throughout the course of the film, but I just want to let you guys know to prepare yourself both, physically, emotionally before going into Queen and Slim. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Queen and Slim. Let me stop rambling. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pay or Wait, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.